The hardest working man in comics, and we are coming to you live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, bringing you that Comic-Con life to the comfort of your home with these free, that's right, free celebrity panels, in addition to paid exclusive experiences, including one-on-one private video chats, custom recorded messages, and autographs, including these guys, like literally immediately, on sale at wizardworldvirtual.com. Later on, I believe it's September 4th, Ciarán Strange is about to rock the house. Night of covers, parodies, own original songs. Is about to be amazing. This whole virtual concert experience takes place via Zoom on the 4th at 7 p.m. That's Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Only $5.99 if you want to jump in there or check out the VIP experiences for access to the pre-show and sound check. Without any further ado, it is my pleasure to bring to you guys the voiceover cast of Borderlands 3. It's about to go down. I know y'all have been playing a lot, especially with the lead up of some DLC action. But let's bring some folks out to the stage. First and foremost, let's hear for Marissa Lenti. Yay!
Woo! Oh, hello, guys.
Next up, we have Jim Foronda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Say hello to Martha Harms.
Yay!
Hey.
As noted before, Ciarán Strange.
Woo!
What up? What up? And last but certainly not least, Marcus Mauldin. Are we back yet? We got it. We got him.
What?
There he
Yeah.
is. There he is. I love it. I love it. Folks, how are we doing today? How is everyone surviving 2020, this weird year, which was clearly inspired by a strange video game? How are we doing? Are we all holding up? Are we smiles? Are we sane?
Yeah.
Doing okay.
That is the answer. That is the universal, like,
Yeah.
It's
I
Friday.
haven't killed anyone today, so we'll see. See what kind of questions we get.
After a long, hard week of working at home, we get to spend the weekend at home.
You know what? Sometimes that's a necessity. That is a necessity. I got to give a shout out to some of the folks that have tuned in. We've got folks from Israel, France, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Oregon, the UK, and Arizona already tuned in. So
in the UK.
yes,
Shout
yes,
out to
we
the
got all kinds of
UK.
love. That's right. All right, so I got to start this off with a very personal question. I kind of warned a few of you ahead of time. What was your first video game console that you ever played? I mean, obviously, being a part of this new generation of video games, we gotta look back in order to appreciate how far we've come. So, what was your first? Let's start with Jim.
Atari 2600.
Jim.
Atari
with me?
26. I love this. The 2600 is classic. That's nothing to be ashamed of, unless you had the ET game. Did you have the ET game?
No, I used to play a lot of Moon Patrol. That was my game.
That's
Oh, wow.
That is a good one. That's a good one. Jim, what about you?
Okay, so my first console was it was one of those Pong knockoffs that my dad picked up at Service Merchandise, after which we went to a restaurant called Steak and Ale, which was like this medieval themed thing with silver goblets and stuff.
Okay.
Then we went to go see Star Wars. So this was one day that was very formative for me. It like if we had gone to a football game, I probably would have gone down a completely different path.
Nerd
Literally
Genesis.
best game ever. You said Genesis?
I said his nerd Genesis.
Oh, his
Pretty
Nerd
much,
Genesis.
yeah.
Yes.
It's my
like in
origin
one day.
story.
Literally. No,
but
that's
mine
fantastic.
was the Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
My first console that I actually owned was different, but the first thing I can remember playing was my brother's Genesis.
Nice.
He had like DuckTales and Aladdin, and I would occasionally, and Lion King, and I would hop on there and play around with those. But then my first console was a Game Boy Color.
Okay.
That was my.
What color? What color did
Oh
you
gosh, I think I had a purple one,
Okay.
and I lost it. Gosh, I lost it while I was playing Pokemon Silver. I was this close to finishing the unowned decks, and then they were all gone. I lost them at a restaurant. I was so sad. I went back to the restaurant. It was gone. And I was crying. I was so upset. And I had to be like 8. And then separately, both of my parents went and bought the new like color changing gold and silver Game Boy that had come out that had Pikachu and Pichu on the front. And they both brought it to me. So I had 2 Game Boys.
Wow.
I was like, this is the best. Everything is good.
Yeah, I
one
was gonna
charge,
say.
one to play.
Yeah. No, that sounds like a true Genesis if I ever heard of one. Like for real. Martha?
Oh, I had the original old school Game Boys, and we had 2 of them. We got 2 at once because I was one of 4 kids, and we'd take them on road trips and stuff. So I was playing
Nice.
for Mario Brothers 2 and stuff.
That's classic. Marcus?
My
mine is a little bit different from everybody else's in this sense. The first one that I actually owned was the original PlayStation. But my father, the visionary that he was,
right.
I was growing up. He took this abandoned building and took the old arcade video games, Miss Pac-Man, and so on and so forth, Centipede, and he had about 5 or 6 of those in this small abandoned building in our neighborhood that the kids would come and play.
Aww.
So yeah, so and he would do them for like, it was like a quarter. You come in and put a quarter in and play Miss Pac-Man. So
That's
a
awesome.
lot of times the kids come in with $3 or $4 and they'd be there all day.
Right.
Waka, 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 waka.
I mean, but when your dad has an arcade, you can be like, yeah, I didn't get a gaming system till PlayStation because you didn't need one. You had an arcade.
Yeah.
Now that's awesome. I was one of the first in the United States to have a NES system. My uncle was in the Army and he actually got one and brought it. And I'm playing this game and I'm talking to kids at school about it, and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "No, it's a Nintendo." And they're like, "That's not a thing."
I've never heard of it.
They totally thought I was lying until Christmas that year, and all of a sudden it's like the hottest new thing. And they're like, "How did you get this early?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I did. It was awesome." So obviously, when it comes to gaming, like that's a huge culture. It's so very important. When did you know that you wanted to be a part of gaming culture? As a whole, like what is it that drove you to this? Marcus, we'll start with you.
Accident.
Sometimes that's the best way to make things happen.
That's how I got into doing voiceovers. Anyway, was excuse me. I was climbing around in the hallway at the agency, and the voiceover director of the agency, she came over and gave me the principal finger like I was making too much noise in the hallway and told me to come step into her office. And then once I stepped in and she's behind the desk and she's going through papers and she's looking at me, she's looking at the papers, she's looking at me, she's looking at the papers. And then she asked me, why aren't you on our voiceover tapes? And I was like, I didn't know we even had a voiceover tape.
Whatever do you mean? I would have been there immediately.
Yeah. And so he immediately said, here, wrote down this address and told me to go and record my first demo reel and get it back to her so she can start getting my voice out to start auditioning for voiceovers for commercials and, which ultimately led to video games.
Right.
And,
no, that's awesome.
Some anime series and stuff like that. So yeah, mine was pretty much accidental. And I've told this story before when I do my own personal meeting. They say, how'd you get into this? And I'm like, well, it's a really long story, but I can try to shorten it for you. But yeah, that's some other stuff that went on in between there.
Those are the best stories right there.
Yeah,
I love it.
But that's how I got into it, and I'm glad it was a happy accident. I was out there clowning, making too much noise. That's how I usually end up getting into stuff.
So sometimes it's good to be the clown. There's nothing wrong with that. Ciarán, what about
you? I think I became addicted to video games the first time I ever played a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh.
And it was Sonic 2, it was a friend's party, and I just sat there for the rest of the party, and they were like, do you want to come do this? Do you want to come eat cake? I was like, no, I'm playing.
Leave me alone.
And from then on, I was addicted to Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I knew I had to do something to do with video games. I always thought I'd be a designer because I was always into art, and then I was friends with Joel, and I kind of, again, it was an accident. I kind of wound up just kind of falling into voice acting, but it's so much fun and I love it. And to be part of such a huge video game franchise is just incredible. It's created such a stamp on gaming that it's kind of part of the culture now, even if you're not into the game specifically. So it's amazing to be part of the industry in any way.
Of course. Martha?
Yeah, I fell into it too. I was doing Funimation in Dallas, and then they brought me in to try out for Borderlands 2, and that was my
It's just that simple. It's like a nice little ride, and you're just like, yeah, I'll try it. Let me see what's up.
Honestly, most things have been that way for me. I must have done something right in another life. I feel it's kind of karmic energy around it, so I just started doing it after that, and
that's awesome.
And the characters I felt ever since the auditions that come to me have just gotten even better and better, and there's just so many more as the world has grown so much.
That is amazing. I love it. Marissa?
Well, when I first got into acting, it didn't even enter my brain that I could do video games. I started acting on theater and on stage when I was a little babby. And I was like, this is all acting is, I guess. But then when I got into college, I was like, wait a second, I could do anime. And that was like my first step into character and specifically VO. And then while I was pursuing that, it just so happened that almost everything I was booking was actually video games first. And I was like, oh, right, video games have voiceover, of course. So I did a lot of indie games, like a lot of indie games before I even stepped foot into the anime space. And then I stepped foot into the anime space and I was like, cool, we're doing this. And then of course that's where I met Joel, and then Joel moved over to video games. So it was just this metronome back and forth of following, you know, different paths and ending up in different places.
I love that.
Me.
That's awesome. That's how inspiration works. Jim?
Gosh, okay, so I'll make this short. I used to write toy commercials for Hasbro. I wrote every Transformers toy commercial from 2002 to 2012.
What?
And, so
his voice though, listen.
Right.
So basically, there was a G.I. Joe commercial we did back in 2002. And originally there was union talent were the voices, but there was a production error, and it turns out they couldn't afford the union costs. So they paid all those people their session fees, and they had everybody at the ad agency just pile into the booth one at a time and just read for everything. And so we didn't even slate, we didn't say our names. And Hasbro cast me as Cobra Commander, Duke, a British reporter, Heavy Duty, and Destro.
What a range!
Heavy Duty and Destro?
Right.
Yes, and Destro. And it was and when they found out it was me, they just started doing, let's have Foronda do it. And so it was good job security until I got, laid off in 2013. And that was when I thought, I'm going to try going into voice acting.
I mean, it's right there. You might as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And
real.
On the spot, I want to hear your toy voice. I want to hear your
oh gosh, anything from each sold separately, batteries not included, some assembly required, major pumping required.
That should have played underneath as a fine print message. That was perfect.
Oh gosh, writing that stuff is always hard.
Wow.
But no, I there's this story of how I was like the internet's most hated Optimus Prime until they thought I was Michael Dorn. So but that's a long story. So.
Okay. Listen, we're gonna mess around and have a panel.
You might have to go further.
Yeah, you might have to explain some things. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it because we got some fan questions. The Fresh Prince of the Saiyans, great name by the way, wants to know what's everyone's favorite line from their character or any character, honestly, because Handsome Jack's got some truly iconic lines. So let's start with Marissa. Favorite line from your character or any character?
My favorite Moze line is one of the new lines that just came out. And it's during the Meat Man side quest where you set the effigy on fire, and it's like this fiery ghost, and it's like, all right, now you got to do the ghost voice, and Moze just goes, you have been judged or whatever. Like she's very bad.
Not into it.
she's trying, but she's very bad at lying and anything theatrical. So she's like, I don't know. My girl.
That's good. That is a good one. Karen, what about you?
I love I don't know why, like every now and then I see a video online and it cuts perfectly at the point where Lorelei at the end of one of the battles yells, "Get wasted, you wankers," and it just cuts the end of the battle so perfectly. I think that, or the whole like trip Handsome Jack goes on about the girl who headbutted a belt sander, like that entire sorry Jim, that entire log is fantastic.
I love it. Martha?
Mine's from Borderlands too. She yells out, the seat is sticky. Why is it sticky?
Okay, I have children, so that's a statement in my house a lot. Yeah.
Oh, no. David tried to do it in 3, and I was like, oh, I wonder how many people caught that.
That's real. So but why was the seat sticky? These are the questions that we all want to know. Like,
Freak was eating a peanut butter sandwich.
Good answer. Safe. I like that. That's perfect. Well played. Marcus?
How clean are we on here?
Let's go rather clean. My Nana's probably gonna watch this.
Okay, all right, then I'll skip that line. So I would say the other one that I get asked the most about, which is, is just the simple hell yeah, because everybody that meets me wants me to do the hell yeah, but they want me to do the other one that I was asking about beforehand.
I think we all know what that one is. I think we get yep.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Jim?
Oh gosh. Well, my favorite is, since we're being clean, it's the one where I'll say my butt, it's full of stars. It's an homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey, when Claptrap gets his butt stuck in the hull breach in the window. Either that or any of his ad-libbed music. There's the like Stealth
like
Time,
that.
where it's
Fun.
when Gearbox lets me ad-lib stuff, that's fun.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
So wait. I've got a statement here. I don't know if this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was so into the ad-libbing thing. You guys.
No, because that's amazing.
Because
Oh,
what
yeah.
you do is you'll see the line on the screen, and then you'll do something different, and then you just see it get deleted, and then
You see them change.
Yeah.
Should have write this in.
Yep, I like where you're going with that.
My favorite thing about the Stealth Time song is that it's now dubbed into a million different languages.
That somebody showed me that.
That's awesome.
Sung Kim, one of the artists at Gearbox, he sent me a link, and it was Claptrap singing in Korean, and they had copied the song I ad-libbed exactly, and it blew my freaking mind.
Wow.
So cool.
Wow. I mean, okay, so I have to ask, what has been the best fan response to you or your characters that you've experienced?
I laugh immediately because I stream on Twitch, playing as Moze, and I have been since launch day. And it says my title is Moze's voice actor, plays Borderlands 3. Every stream, someone jumps in and goes, "You really, though? Are you really her voice actor? You look like her. Are you really?" You're like a fan voice, right? And I'm like,
Wow.
no.
I'm hurt.
It's my eternal curse.
This is my job, okay?
It is my eternal curse. I was on a stream. It was all voice actors. That was the whole intent of the stream. It was me, Sungwon, who plays Flack, Brendan Blaver, who plays Freddie and Maurice, Dawn Bennett, who's the female bandits, and Tyrene. Me and Tyrene were playing, and that was the whole advertisement for the thing. And my screen was the main screen. It was the one that you could see. And someone in the chat is just like, "Man, the chick who's actually playing the game kind of sounds like Moze."
Well,
and I'm like, guys,
did you not read the title on the?
Come on. They knew that everyone else there was a voice actor and that was the point of the stream. But I was just the hosting, and I'm like,
you were, yeah,
y'all, please.
Singled out, rude, so rude. Martha,
And
what
then
about
they
you?
go, "Oh, if you're actually the voice actor, say her full name," and I have to do the full name.
Wow!
That
Do you
is-
have to prove who you are?
That is the test if I can do the full name. So of course I got it down.
Of course.
The Mozera Hayusini and Yonlun Alamir Andreevna. It's there. I got it. It's good. No problem.
Question again if you want to. Okay, that'll be your fault. Martha, what about you?
Favorite fan? What was it about? Favorite
fan experience or any sort of recognition that you've gotten?
Well, I do. I'm on Cameo, and I'm so surprised by what people request me to do a video for, and a lot of people do anniversaries.
Oh,
and I think it's the sweetest thing.
That is adorable. That is super
I get a lot
adorable.
of Maya and Creed couples, people who just they'll come up to me at conventions and I freak out. It's just the love and the friendships. Oh, that was my favorite one. There were these guys that were best friends, and they had met each other by playing online Borderlands with each other, and then they've become lifelong friends from that. So
that's magic. Ciarán?
I guess the soppy one, which I won't spend as much time on. Though I guess Martha did a nice tender one too. It's a lot of the LGBTQ fans who come up and say they love the representation. That's really cool. My favorite silly thing that I've had is all the people who think that Flint and Lorelei or Zane Flint and Lorelei are played by like fake like American actors. And they're like, what a sad, like terrible British accent. And it's like, that's literally how I talk. I'm sorry, I don't sound like BBC America, but that's the way we sound. I'm sorry.
The variants of accents people don't fully understand or know, so that's their fault. Poo-poo on them, 100%.
Poo-poo to you.
Yes, absolutely. Jim, what about you?
Oh gosh, my favorite response has been anything accepting of me being Claptrap, because it was scary stepping into this role. It's kind of like, you know, because if David is like the Sean Connery of Claptrap, right? And then I think Mikey did Claptrap for like one PAX, so that he'd be the George Lazenby. So that makes me the Roger Moore of Claptrap. And so
whoa,
it was. I was really nervous, you know, accepting this role, but people have been. A lot of people have come out and said, you know, hey, you've done a good job. You're keeping him alive. So that's anything that accepts me as Claptrap. I'm just happy with.
Okay. That's awesome.
Hey man, we love Roger Moore, man.
Right? Yeah.
Moore. He's like one of the best.
I grew up with Roger Moore. He's my favorite.
There you go. Marcus, what about you?
Man, I guess
keep clean, Marcus.
Keep clean.
Actually, no. I just got word from the producer that because this is Borderlands 3, we can go in reference to the game. You can keep it 100. You can say what you need to. So we might have to go back to that quote line. So throw it out there.
Well, some of the things I've had going on, stuff has been very emotional. To some of the responses I had one young man, Colt, who he lost his brother.
Oh wow!
And he came to me and wanted me to get an autograph for him and for his brother, because they used to play Borderlands together, and they would fight over who's going to be Brick.
Oh.
You know, so you know that was some of these connections that I've made with some of what I call the Borderlands family, or of that nature. I had another young lady all the way out on the West Coast, in San Francisco. She used to say, she said that she used to play with Brick on Borderlands so she would feel protected at night, because they were having troubles in the neighborhood with next door neighbors, and her husband was working at night. So she was alone with her and her dog, who, by the way, that she named Brick.
Oh.
And then I had another young lady out in Portland, Oregon, who, by the way, her birthday is coming up September 3rd, Cassandra.
Hey.
Happy birthday, early Cassandra.
Happy birthday.
She named her dog Dog and Brick.
Adorable.
And she sends me pictures all the time
awesome.
On Twitter of Dog and Brick, so I get to see. So I've had those kind of experiences and several others, but those are the ones that kind of really stand out.
That's brilliant. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's okay.
Well, you all said nice things.
I know, right? Like that's perfect. That's so perfect.
I feel bad for being like, here's the stupid thing.
No. That's still very nice. It's still very nice. We've got a question from Stetson_Elam. What's it like to be a part of the Borderlands franchise? Literally the best video game franchise of all time. That is a direct quote. So in terms of being a part of it, you know, has it been what you've wanted it to be as a voice acting experience? Is it more difficult? Do you get to have more fun? What is the level here? Rate it 1 to 10. Where are you at?
Here, now I'll say something nice.
Okay.
Absolute 10 for community. And I'll tell you why. Because again, I said I've been streaming. And although I always get one person per stream being like, are you really though? The rest of the Borderlands community is so nice. I've never met such an actively nice community. I've been a part of, you know, like a lot of anime where the community is nice, but there may be like, there's not a lot of them and they're like a small niche fandom. And I still love to interact with small fandoms, but this is a huge group of people who are always so nice. They come into the stream, they're like, this is so great. I love this. I'm so glad that you're doing this. What can I do to help? I've had a lot of people message me being like, do you need help with your stream? I'll help you out. Like other Borderlands streamers who this is their profession is they
That's
just
awesome.
stream Borderlands, and they're like, hey, you know, like I'll give you some suggestions. And we've done multi-streams. I've streamed with Psychotic Wolf and I've streamed with B Flattened, and I hope to stream with a lot more of the Borderlands streamers because they are so nice, all of them. And it's just a really, really nice community. And when you voice act for something, you do that character for like a handful of hours. I would say Moze is the character I've performed the most, and even then I've only lived with the character for, you know, so many hours. All of the life comes from fan interaction after the thing is out.
That's very well said.
So your life with this character is dictated by how the fandom interacts with you, and the fact that the Borderlands community is so accepting and so kind and so active just makes it enriches the entire experience in a way that, you know, you don't get to experience with every single character, unfortunately. But this one, wow, like it blew me out of the water just how much there was and how many people there were and how eager they were to interact and to interact well and to, you know, help out and just experience. It's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Damn, you said that really well.
I know, right? Like, we're all just like...
But it's true. Like the fandom it's incredible. Like they're so active, like especially on Twitter and Twitch, and they're so supportive and they're so kind. And it's like I've met like people I consider legitimate friends now. Like not like they, you know, used to pass like, oh, that this is someone I chat to on Twitter, and it's like this is someone I like text and hang out with. Like, and they're just, some of them are just super cool people, super accepting. I think it was scary. Like I don't know if any of, I guess more like for Jim and Marissa, and like maybe for Marcus and Martha, like coming back, but like it was scary going in at Borderlands 3 because there was a new team, and the writers were kind of, you know, they'd been given a story that they then had to write for. And, you know, we were all terrified of what the fans were going to think because it had been like 7 years. And it was like, are we going to be part of, you know, this amazing new chapter in the Borderlands franchise, or is this going to sink like a brick? And are we going to be remembered as the ones who ruined Borderlands forever? But no, the fans love it. And it's like every new DLC that comes out is like slaying. And it's so cool to see the fandom so excited, like whenever new content gets released, because I mean, we were kind of sitting under our NDAs watching people like the year before it was coming out being like, oh, they think they're going to announce Borderlands 3. I bet they're not again. And we're all there going, just wait, just hang on. Like we got you. And it's cool that the fandom has just taken the new stuff and just gone with it and are just enjoying themselves. It's really cool.
Yes.
I thought the audio cut out for a second. Everyone went dead silent.
It's like, did Victor freeze?
I know. Like,
no, we all just like lived in that. You were everything you said was so true. I think
no,
it plays
beautiful.
the Gearbox's strengths there, how open-minded they are, and I just think of how much the world has grown since I joined with Borderlands 2. And when was I recording? In 2011, I think I started recording. I didn't even have a picture of Maya.
Wow.
They didn't even really know what she looked like, and I actually got hired on the game. Did all of her lines, then got fired. They had another actor come in because they thought they were going to go a different way. Then they decided to go back, so I got to re-record my, you know, it was like, we started with a thing, and then like what you said, Marissa, how much it's grown and grown, and the fandom kind of dictates it, and Gearbox goes, okay. And I've just felt this like expansion of this world. And I always tell a story when I go to conventions. Maya is really dear to me because I started her when I started voice acting, really. It was in the first few years that I was voice acting. I'm like Marissa, I was on stage. I thought I was going to be a stage actor forever and just do that. And then I started voice acting. And it was like, that's when Maya started vault hunting. And then you cut to Borderlands 3 over 7 years. She's like this, like, she's the mentor now. She's like, she's been doing this. Right. She's come into her own. You so feel her like personality even stronger. And Gearbox really leaned into that. And that's coming into BL3. That's where I was as an actor. I was like, I was me now. I was more formed. And so anyway, I like to explain that because that was the journey that Maya and I were both on at the same time.
I love that. Marcus?
Yes, sir. On I'm sorry, what was the question again?
I know we kind of poured out our hearts here, but overall, the experience of being a part of this, you know.
Yeah, I want to make sure I hit that, but it's much that these other wonderful, talented actors and I have
of course.
Said, that I'm just sitting here. I was getting lost in what they were saying, and then trying to think, wow, a lot of what has been said, I'm really a part of that. I've been a part of, the original Borderlands,
right?
And all in between, the Tales from the Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and 2 and 3, and all the downloadable content. And Marissa was saying this: the community, the Borderlands fam, as I like to say, is it's been very exciting. They're excited to meet you. They always have questions. Always a smile. Always a hug, and that's beautiful, and like Martha, I can relate to being fired because I was originally cast as Mordecai when they first original concept of Borderlands, and the whole thing got scrapped, and then I didn't have a job.
Oh, wow. Thank goodness that came back, though.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise because when it came back, they told my agent, they said, well, we're going a different way with Mordecai. And I was like, man. And then about 2 weeks later, they called back and said, can we get Marcus to come in? We've got another character that we think belongs in this Borderlands, because Brick wasn't originally part of the Vault Hunters.
Right.
The original Vault Hunters. And they came in and they said, hey, this guy's 6'7", 6'10", 7 feet tall. He's 300 pounds of muscle. He's a raging maniac, a berserker. And we want to know if you can put a voice to this.
Marcus is like,
the first thing I said was,
try.
Hell yeah. And we went running from there.
And history was written.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Jim, you kind of mentioned, joining in, but is there anything else that you wanted to add about being a part of the community?
Oh gosh. Well, the community's been super accepting, and it's it's weird because like Marcus, I was in Borderlands from the beginning, but I kind of have a reputation of doing a lot of character work. So I usually get called in to do, instead of like one large role, I get called in to do these 20 little bits but make them all sound different. So that's what I've done throughout Borderlands, from starting with Zombie Island and all the way up into pre-sequel. I was just kind of like a salt shaker. Somebody just shook me all over the Borderlands franchise. But then I was in Battleborn, which was a great game that just kind of unfortunately got steamrolled by Overwatch. But I worked on that game for 2.5 years, but I got playable roles that time. And I think when I was approached to take up the mantle of Claptrap, it was a big honor because they trusted me with him. Mm-hmm. And it was a long 7-month audition process, and it's kind of weird, kind of like going from screaming person in the corner to Claptrap, and it was like, wow. But to be, the community's just been the majority of it's been like really welcoming, and I gotta say, there's so much awesome fan art out there. It's like, I wish I had $11 billion and I would buy fan art from everybody.
That is real.
It's amazing.
Yes. Having done quite a few costume contests, seeing people bring it to physical life has also been like a dream. You're just like, look at that level of creativity. That is fantastic. And again, I can imagine you guys being a part of that has got to be tremendous. We've got a question, yes, it is a question, but this is kind of a lead up. Okay, so we've got Luna Tiger 1997 in Cam Plays and Screams. They said Borderlands is one of the things that we bonded over while we were dating. Borderlands was the theme of our wedding. Actual question, what character do you guys relate to or find inspirational?
Hi, Luna Tiger. Luna Tiger's in my Discord server.
Oh, nice. So yeah, what character do you guys find inspiring or relate to? Obviously, Martha, you talked about the growth of Maya and how you kind of transitioned, with her. Is there anything else you want to add, or another character that you feel strongly about?
I need to think about that one.
Okay, yeah. I mean that's a deep one. That is a deep one. I'll give you that one. Mm-hmm. While you're thinking about that, Logan Flores asked Jim, "What's your favorite part about voicing Claptrap?"
Oh my gosh. The fact that he has no inner filter. He's because he's processed. So a lot of that processing, you have to be very loud. I mean, literally, if I'm performing Claptrap, this is the volume that I'm at. I'm hoping I didn't bust everybody's eardrums. I just
it was worth headphones. It was totally worth it.
And he's just okay. So make it short. Claptrap, I see him as he is surrounded by all these heroes who have saved the galaxy many times over, and so he feels kind of surrounded by this greatness, but he doesn't really feel like he's actually a part of it in a way. So he likes to talk a big game, and he likes to talk about how great he is, when really he just wants to be accepted by them. And that's kind of how I felt when I first started acting, because I had a day job, and I would occasionally, pass the halls with people that have been acting for a long time, and it's just, wow, that's that person. And I kind of relate to that, being surrounded by people who I think are just really cool. So
I love it. I absolutely love it. Ciarán, do you have something?
I call it being the Hawkeye of the voice actors.
Whole team of Avengers, and I'm the guy with the bow and arrow.
I'm here, man.
I get you.
But you're on the Avengers.
Exactly.
Also true.
I'm doing something right.
And you sing and you write novels. Come on.
Also true. Like, that should be plugged and adored. So not bad at all.
I gave it some thought. Okay, so when I read Lorelei's lines, I didn't actually have any idea about, like, I knew of the Borderlands franchise, and I knew of like Claptrap and like various other characters like Handsome Jack, Lilith, like the bigger characters, like I kind of knew of. But I read my lines, and then I started like going, like once I got the job, I started kind of going in and being like, I should really play these games and like actually know what the hell I'm doing. That would probably be hard. And everyone's always talked them up, so I'll do it. And so I went in and I started like meeting the characters, and I realized that this Reese guy that apparently my character worked for, I was like, oh my God, it's me. He's like a total dick, but he's trying so hard and he just fails so much, and everyone else picks him up, and I was like, oh God, I'm working for myself. I think I sit squarely between Reese and Lorelei, depending on what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay.
I wanted to give a shout out actually to Moze as a character, because Moze is entirely the character I would have played as like, and I hope you don't take offense to this, but like as like a young girl who didn't know I was gender fluid or trans, like Moze is the kind of female character I would have actually gravitated towards, because she's so andro, and I feel like a lot of young girls and young boys need like a more andro female character. So like I totally identify with Moze there too.
Oh my God, that's empowering too, especially when you don't have to presumably choose, so you can just enjoy a character for themselves. Very well said.
The archetypes in Borderlands try to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, if you'll let me cop out and just talk about Moze being inspirational.
I don't know if that's a cop out.
She's really cool. She like you said, she's got a more androgynous presence. Her whole squad was all guys, at least as far as we can tell. The photo that's like in Iron Bear is of two guys, and she just there's no like they underestimated me because I was a girl, or like, I was the little sister of the group. There's none of that. She's just there, and she can just exist in that space, and it's not questioned. She's just, that's her thing. She's a military chick. That's what she does. And I like that about her, that there's no like, I was the tough one. Like, she doesn't have to be the tough one. She's just who she is, and who she is happens to be, tough. That's what she does. She shoots guns. She has a knife. That's what she does. And also flirts with the ladies, which I think everyone can appreciate in a girl. I love it.
That's right.
They really pander to me, because every time she would do it, I would be like, that's great. And now they've written more of it into the scripts. And I'm like, thank you for pandering to me. And the writer will be like, you're welcome.
It is what it is. As long as everybody's happy, that's a win. That's a definite
win.
Martha?
Well, I like everything that everyone said. I'm on a journey of like my own self-discovery and self-improvement. So I'm gonna have to say Krieg at this point in time.
Okay.
He's inspirational. The whole like mind-body disconnect and how he's trying to just get in alignment, man. So I'm really excited for this next DLC.
That's the new DLC.
I'm so excited.
Don't y'all ask about it out there watching the stream. Don't y'all ask nothing. No spoilers, okay? No spoilers. Marcus, did you want to add anything?
I mean, again, wow. I mean, I'm just listening to everybody, and I just get lost in what everybody's saying. I'm learning so much. But yeah, I guess I would say, becoming Brick has. I put it like this: becoming Brick has created its own stand right beside me, 6'7", 6'8", over my shoulder kind of anomaly, if you will, when I walk in the room. It's just it's inspiring to be Brick because of some of the stories I told you earlier about how some of the fans really really relate to this character that I've to through my voice. But I've had the Borderlands family out in real life situations, and relate, back to Brick or myself as Brick, and it's really inspiring. I've met a ton of people over Instagram, a ton of the Borderlands family, let me say, in the UK, which I had no idea, I mean, none whatsoever, that there were even remotely any Brick fans in the UK. But Ash, Georgia, my man Morty, Fire Chicken, I mean, all of you guys from the UK out to Ireland, I had no idea, and these beautiful people have reached out to me over Instagram, and like, I'll forget who it was said earlier, these people have become not just Borderlands family, but become friends that I don't just, we talk about other stuff, when we're having our chats on the internet and stuff like that. I was even invited to be a judge in one of the cosplays that they were having. And I told them, I said, I don't know anything about cosplays. I just know that these are wonderfully talented, dedicated artists, because they are.
Of course.
And it was just amazing to be a part of that, and watch and learn it, and I don't know, it's just exciting that I draw my inspiration, I guess, from being a part of such a large community of actors and fans alike that love this game and love this universe that that Gearbox has created for us.
I love that. Actually, Jessica Caldwell Morley said Fire Chicken is still thinking about the 4 a.m. BBQ from last time. I just want to throw that out there. I just want to put that out there. Let that be known.
Fire Chicken, what's going on?
I'm just
and a party without the Fire Chicken.
It makes sense to me. That's all I'm saying. Logan Flores wants to know from Martha what it was like going back to voice Maya. And I'm going to add on to that. Was it a different take than what you did the first time? Did you try to go at it totally different?
Yeah, it just was different by nature. When we meet Maya in Borderlands 2, you're getting a lot of her backstory, and actually most of Maya's lines are in the echo logs. They're not in the present, they're set in the past. So she's at the monastery and she's breaking free of her chains. And so also I was just learning in Borderlands 2 how to do reacts and sound. So I would see like a list of like, okay, now, get into this part of the spreadsheet. We need you to jump. And there's 10 different sounds for jumping. I'd be like, great, let's go. And then, all right, go ahead. And I'd be like, what is another sound? How do you jump? And the same for like action stuff and battle and scream. So I also came into Borderlands 3 having a lot of more of that experience under my belt, going, great, I can give you running sounds, I can do different melee kind of things. So but Borderlands 3 now you're talking to the player even more. Now you're playing alongside, you're fighting alongside the actual player. So by nature you just get a lot more of Maya's personality in BL3. So it was really fun. Like the lines they had me saying, it was just, Maya was hilarious. She was so funny, where she's more reserved kind of in Borderlands 2 and a little more figuring out the world, has a lot of questions. Now she's like, let's kick some ass.
That's right. That's right. So listen, I'm enjoying this thoroughly, but I know you guys got some one-on-ones that you got to do almost immediately. So one last like roundup to say to the fans. We'll start with Marissa. Is there one more thing that you want to say to the fans before we get out of here?
Oh gosh. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's always great to see the Borderlands community coming out, especially for stream events like this. You guys should come to my Twitch sometime and watch me play Borderlands because we always have a lot of fun. We always have a lot of the community stopping by, and different Borderlands streamers will pop in and out, and it's usually a really fun time. And of course, you know we're gonna be playing that DLC 4 when it drops. So my Twitch is Lenti. So if you can spell my name and you just chop off that end part of my first name, you got it. Lenti. It's all good. Come stop on by, and I usually do a giveaway for my Moze posters. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, we want that.
I give one of these away every Borderlands stream, or you can buy them from this event. They are on sale if you'd prefer to just buy one instead of entering a giveaway. Those are your options.
Sweet. I love it. I love it. Jim?
Oh gosh. I love conventions. I wish we could all be there in person, but I like meeting people and just talking with everybody. But I guess what I'll say is that everybody in the audience, you're now all my favorite new recruits. So
well played. Well played. I like it. I like it. Martha?
Oh gosh, just closing sentiments. I'm just thrilled to be here. Y'all are beautiful people. Thank you so much for spending time. Yeah, you can find me Instagram, on Twitter. I'm on Cameo. That's really fun. Each cameo is very different.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I just look forward to talking to everybody.
Woot. Marcus?
Yeah, what's up, slabs? Let me say this. First of all, I'm very happy to be a part of this. Again, with very talented group of voice actors, and you ask voice actors to shorten stories and bring things in to a minimum so people can get them and understand. We make our living with our voices, and as well as stage and film and television and writing music and writing books. It's just amazing to be a part of this. But thank you for letting me be a part of it. Marcus M. Mauldin on Instagram, at the Voice of Brick on Twitter, and the Voice of Brick Facebook fan page. I also have Team Brick t-shirts, as well as other things. I usually have a lot of those when I go to the conventions, like my man Claptrap Jim was saying, so if you hit me up, get to those, the Punch Time Power bracelets. We all good. Give those away, but you can also purchase those. Just DM me.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I love it. Ciarán?
Oh, me. Sorry, I felt like I had to act like that. No, thanks for being so awesome and for being so accepting, especially to us who are new to the community. It is the Border fam. You guys are family, and it's like I love you folks so much. I'm over on Twitter a lot of the time. It's just at Ciarán Strange, and yeah, come to my my live Wizard World concert next week.
Right.
Friday night. It's like $5.99, or there's VIP tickets available. It's going to be really fun. I do a couple of Borderlands themed like parodies too, so it's good fun. Like it's songs worth quarantining to. It's gonna be fun.
There you go.
Thanks for having us, though. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this has been great.
Yes. I want to step out here and I want to say thank you to all you talented folks. It's been great to have a conversation with you. To all the fans, with all your questions, you guys are fantastic. I want to give a big shout out to Wizard World for bringing us all together. It was fantastic, even more so. I'm Victor Dangerous, the hardest working man in comics. Please don't forget, to the fans watching live or later on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, that you can check out the paid exclusives. Those are the things that you want to have. You want to get all the things from wizardworldvirtual.com. Literally, we are getting ready to do some one-on-one. So if you to jump on with these guys, now is the time. Right now, not now, but right now. Again, thank you guys so very much. I'm going to go play some Borderlands 3 right now while we wait for this DLC to drop. So thank you guys so much. You know what I'm saying? Much love to everybody.
Thank you, Victor. You're the best.
Bye.
Thank you, Victor.
Bye, everyone.